Okay, so let me ask you a question. So I've got a book here and I want to sell this book. Do you think I would have an easier time selling this book having a conversation with an actual human being or having them go online and try to find it and buy it themselves? Well, before I answer to that question, and I think you might know the answer as well, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Uriel Kim. In case you don't know who I am, I'm the founder of Healthpreneur, and I help you turn your expertise for health or fitness into a thriving online business. Now, in this video, I'm going to introduce a contrarian idea to you, which is the whole notion of unscaling your business to improve conversions. So I'm going to walk you through what all that means and what that looks like. And then in conjunction with this video, I've actually created a great article with some of the screenshots that I'm going to be talking about and some of the emails that I'm going to be referring to. So be sure you check that out by the link below this video. So let's get back to this book first. So this is actually my number 2 New York Times bestselling book, The All-Day Energy Diet. And if I were having a conversation with you at a coffee shop and we were talking about how to have more energy and fix your fatigue and all that kind of, good stuff, and I was giving you these amazing insights, and we had this opportunity to bond over half an hour, let's say, do you think you'd be more compelled to buy the book at that point versus if I just said, hey, go to Amazon and check it out if you're looking to have more energy? Well, I think intuitively we know the answer to that question. And the answer is basically we would have better conversions from the in-person conversation. And the reason for that is because of this KLT score that I just mentioned. The book almost fell off there, which is where we tend to do business with people that we know, like, and trust. Okay. Now think about another scenario. This is obviously a very low ticket item, but let's say we're buying a car. Do car dealerships sell cars through online automated funnels? And the answer to that is no. And why is that? Well, obviously it's a bigger purchase, right? It could be anywhere from $30,000 to $200,000 or more in terms of a purchasing decision. And therefore the importance of that human-to-human relationship cannot be underestimated. And that's why salespeople with higher ticket items like that are always going to be an important component to that business model. Now, what I want to share with you here in this video is I want to introduce to you an idea that may not be relevant to all businesses, but if you're selling any kind of consulting, coaching, higher ticket items like masterminds or events, what I'm going to share with you here could change your business forever. And without advertising costs and all sorts of other logistical nightmares that go into building a huge business that has very little margin. And the reason I'm saying this to you is because I've actually built a huge business in the online health space where we sell a lot of lower ticket item health products. So our whole model is high volume, lower touch. What I'm going to suggest for you here is that if you're in the business of selling higher ticket items, that going lower volume and higher touch can make all the difference. So let's look at how this works in the online setting, because really we all started an online business for the most part to get more freedom back into our lives and obviously help more people. So if I'm saying to you, do more of the unscalable, doesn't that completely negate the freedom element? Because wouldn't we want to do something once and then be like, oh, cool, I've got this system set up, now I can just automate it and step away? And yes, you can do that. And yes, you should definitely have intelligently built out predictable funnels in your business for certain things. But when it gets, when rubber meets the road and it's time to ask people to invest in something, whether it's attending a live event or joining a mastermind that you're running or purchasing something that's of, a higher denominational value, maybe $1,000 or more, there's a lot of magic that can happen when you actually have a conversation with someone. So naturally with the internet, you might have clients all around the world and you don't have the luxury of hitting up a local coffee shop. So I'm going to share with you a couple cool strategies that you can use starting today in your business to help you unscale your business to improve conversions. Now, before I do that, I'm going to share one of the most powerful ways of improving conversions in general, and that is speaking from stage. So recently I was speaking at a conference and I was talking about the importance of content marketing. And basically after an hour talk and really, inspiring people to just understand that this is an important element of their business, I made them an offer and 30% of the room took advantage of the offer. I actually got applauded during the offer of that specific presentation. Now, this offer was $1,000. Now, to get a 30% conversion on a $1,000 product, the same product in an online funnel that we currently have in place, is almost impossible. If we're lucky, we'll see conversions of maybe 3 to 5%. So again, this in-person element is huge. Again, we're building that know, like, and trust score that is just, it cannot be undermined. And unfortunately online, we've really lost touch with the importance of this human-to-human interaction. So speaking from stage is an amazing opportunity, but if you can't do that, you can also do some really cool things online. For instance, a good friend of mine in the health space recently heard her book, a beautiful book on Hashimoto's thyroiditis called the Hashimoto's Protocol, hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. The #1 thing she said she did during that launch to move the needle was spend 3.5 hours doing a live Facebook hangout, a Facebook live video for 3.5 hours on her Facebook page. Why did that work so well? Again, people got to know her, they got to hang out with her, she was real, she was authentic, she was doing her thing, adding tons of value. It was almost like they were having a coffee together with, whoever was in attendance. So what I want to walk you through here is how to use social media, how to use these different platforms that are social, but really most people don't treat them as such. So let's start off with #1, Facebook. Now, it's, I think it's, everyone thinks, if you've got 5,000 friends, you're so cool, but really, how many of us really know 5,000 friends? How many of us really know the people that we're following or friends with on Facebook? None of us, right? We know maybe at best 100 to 250 of those friends. So one of the things that I've done in my business with Healthpreneur, which is a low volume, high touch type of business, where we obviously offer workshops, intensive workshops, we have a mastermind, we have big live events, and so forth. But it's, we're not selling $10 ebooks, right? That's not the business model for this business. So one of the things that I did was I looked at my entire friends list. And I started to just, again, this is a little bit of a time-consuming process. Remember, this is unscalable stuff. This is stuff that you're not going to delegate to a VA in the Philippines to do. This is important that you do this stuff because you'll see why in just a moment. So I went through my entire friends list and I just clicked on their profiles and I just got an idea of who they were, right? Is this someone that I want to get to know better, someone I want to, develop a relationship with? And if so, I sent them a personalized message on Facebook. And again, if you want the swipe message that I use, you can just grab that at the article that's attached to this video. Now, in addition to that, basically what I said was like, listen, I'm cleaning up my friends list and I just want to connect with people in real, in person, online at least, to see if we're a good fit. And if there was no response, then I would basically just unfriend them. So if they responded to that, basically what I suggested in that little message was, I'd love to schedule a quick 10 or 15 minute Skype call on video so we can actually see each other. And all you have to do is click my scheduling link below to do that. Now, here's the thing you want to set up ahead of time. So instead of just sending people to a calendar link, a scheduling link, it's actually a lot more powerful to position yourself ahead of time and give prospective relationships here a better sense of who you are and give yourselves, give them a better sense of why you're someone they want to connect with. So what I've done is I've actually created what I call a power positioning page, where on one page I've included a quick video, which just includes some testimonials about me and whatever, and then some quick facts about my business, about what I've been able to achieve in my business for the past 11 years. And it gives people a really simple snapshot as to, okay, yes, this is gonna be a valuable use of my time. Instead of just saying, hey, I don't even know who you are, why should I jump on Skype with you? So that kind of pre-positioned me as someone authoritative and credible who I may not have connected with this person, officially before, and now they see this page. The link to the calendar is at the top of that page, and again, I'll show you the screenshot for that page in the article. So it's a really, really powerful way to position yourself ahead of time to really start the relationship off on the right foot. So that's the kind of the pre-framing page, that power positioning page. You're gonna send any people that you're connecting with on Facebook to that page. From there, they would click on a button to schedule a time from that page to jump on Skype or Zoom via video with you. And this is really important, that they're not just having a phone call. You're not having a phone call, it's a video conversation. Because again, we connect with people visually much more so than just auditorily, much more so than the written word, okay? So a simple text message, via Facebook Messenger to these individuals saying, hey, I love what you're up to. I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. And I'm cleaning up my friends list. I only want to stay connected to those people that I've actually had a conversation with, and I'd love to do that with you. Now, the second thing you can do on Facebook is now Facebook Messenger, they've had this for a little while, is you can actually send people a little video. So if you click on the little video or camera button in Messenger, you can shoot a video which basically says the same thing. Hey, my name's so-and-so, I know we're friends on Facebook, but are we really? I don't actually even know you. But I'd like to change that. So it looks like you're up to some great things. I'd love to connect with like-minded people like yourself. And if you're game, just click on the link below. Let's schedule a time to talk, and that'd be awesome, right? So now you're on video, they can see you, and it's just much more compelling to do that. So that's a really simple way of utilizing Facebook. You have all these amazing prospects, right? People who could be prospective customers of yours, clients, mastermind members, attendees at your events on Facebook. You just need to reach out and connect with them. So again, this is stuff that I would strongly recommend you don't delegate to anyone else because it doesn't have the same level of heart and touch as it does if it came from you. Now, let's look at another social platform. LinkedIn, which I consider to be like the Tinder of business. Everyone is there just to kind of like get down to the nitty-gritty. And you've probably, if you've been on LinkedIn, you've probably seen all types of responses that are very similar, canned responses. Thanks so much for connecting. I've got this cool network marketing company. I've got this opportunity. I'd love to, blah, 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 blah. Okay, just don't do any of that nonsense. Here's what you're gonna do on LinkedIn. It's the same thing as we just did on Facebook, but with LinkedIn, you can't send a video, so it's a little bit different. So on LinkedIn, you're basically gonna say something to the effect of, hey, great to connect with you. Looks like you're up to some awesome things. Because I really value building meaningful relationships with people, I'd love to spend 10 or 15 minutes on a quick video Skype call with you to see if, how I can best support you. And this is the important thing whenever you're reaching out to other people is don't say, here, like I've got this thing I want you to buy. Always lead with a helping hand. I want to figure out the best way that I can support you. It's all about them. They respond, they go to your power positioning page, they schedule a time from there, and now you can have a conversation with this person to see if there's a good fit. And ahead of time, you want to just kind of quickly look at their profile. You want to have a sense of who they are, what they're up to, if it's worthwhile to even have this conversation with them in the first place, because not everyone's going to be a good match. Right? If I've got 2,000 connections on LinkedIn, not all 2,000 of them are worth my time, or nor are they a good fit for what I want to do. If I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook, not all 5,000 are going to be worthy of my time, nor kind of in my vortex, if you will, of where I want to go in the future. So you want to take a bit of time to go through and vet these people. And again, this is something that is not really it's not a scalable thing. You're not going to delegate this to somebody else because you have to determine for yourself, is this someone I want to have in my life, in my business, in my circle of influence? So LinkedIn, very, very similar. And the cool thing about LinkedIn is that most people don't do this on LinkedIn. So it adds an element of humanity back to what you're doing. So that's the second thing you can do with respect to the social platforms. We talked about Facebook, we talked about LinkedIn, and now I want to give you another great tip to really elevate, like this is going to take what we just did to the next level. This is like injecting steroids into connecting with people. And I have to give a shout out to my good buddy Jason Gaynard, who runs Mastermind Talks, because this whole idea of doing the unscalable was really planted in my head from really how he's built his business with Mastermind Talks. So Jason, if you're watching this, thank you, buddy. So here's one of the things that I've been doing in my house. So this is something that you're gonna do more locally, but also something you can do when you're traveling. So I live in Toronto, and a little while ago I was just reaching out to people in Toronto who are friends with me on Facebook, or people that I want to connect with in the health and fitness entrepreneurship space in Toronto. And I said, hey, again, not a mass email, but individually sending out, hey, Joe Blow, looks like you're up to some great things. We're in the same space. I don't really know you, and I kind of feel bad about that. But here's the thing, I'm actually hosting a cool little get together at my house on Friday night, just some hors d'oeuvres and some wine, and I'd love for you to join us. There's nothing being pitched. This is not a Tupperware party. I just want to get together with 6 to 10 awesome people in our space who live in Toronto. The response is always awesome. First, people are like, wow, I love your work. Never thought we'd connect. Cool. Second, a lot of times if the dates work out, most people are in, and that's it. Once they come to your house, you simply have an informal gathering, a little hangout with 6 to 10 people, get to know them a little bit better. They're in your house now. And so they're in my house, right here. And here's the power. When someone walks through your front door, now that element of trust has taken things to the next level. It's very different that, if you said, okay, I'm gonna have a gathering at a restaurant or a bar, that's still great. And that's something you can definitely do when you're traveling. And I'll talk about that in a second, but it's not the same level of intimacy. When someone walks into your home, that's next level stuff. And so again, you don't have to do this, but these are things that, if it makes sense for your business, if you're selling $10 ebooks, maybe not the best use of your time, but if you're selling higher end things and you have a high lifetime value of your customers, these types of strategies work like gangbusters. So we did a couple what I call these wine and shines, where basically, we come together over some wine and hors d'oeuvres and we help each other shine, if you will. And we basically go around after kind of an informal hangout and we basically say, okay, here's my name, here's what I do, here's what I'm excited about, and here's something I need help with. And the cool thing is that everyone's willing to support and synergize, and it's awesome to see what happens after that. So you hang out for 3-4 hours together at the most, and then after that, relationships are built, deals are done in the future, and from these very events, we've actually had some of our workshop attendees come to our workshops because they were first in my home. And I'm not doing this in a way that's conniving or sneaky. I truly care about connecting with people. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I'm showing you ways to unscale your business to create much better conversions, much better relationships, and a business I think that you'll probably enjoy a little bit more than if everything was just automated and you actually never spoke to another human being. So these gatherings at your home are very, very cool. Now, if you're traveling, you can just say, listen, so we ran a workshop in Los Angeles earlier this year, and I reached out to a couple friends in LA, and I said, listen, I'm doing this workshop, but I'm free Friday night. I'd love to do dinner at this restaurant. Would you like to join us? And so we had a bunch of people say, yeah, I'd love to, but I can't make the dates or whatever. And we had a couple people come together that I hadn't seen in a while. We had dinner together, and it was just a great way to connect with, again, some people that I haven't connected with for a couple years, some new people that I'd never met in person, and it just elevated the relationship to the next level. And that's always going to be a seed that's been planted for the lifetime of that relationship in a much more meaningful way than if we had just connected via email or just on Facebook. So think about, how do we take a social platform like Facebook or LinkedIn, where we actually have people who are friends, and elevate those relationships to the point where people actually consider us to be in some type of relationship. Because when you do that, whether you're selling a live event or a $25,000 mastermind or anything else in between, the likelihood of those individuals becoming clients and customers of yours is significantly greater than if you took them from a Facebook ad to an opt-in page, to an automated sequence, to a webinar. Yes, you'll probably get a few conversions like that, but I'm telling you, when you get people on a video, you invite them into your home, you hang out with them in person, when you do the things that are unscalable, the results are really unimaginable. Now, another cool thing that we've done a couple months ago now was, so I normally charge $2,000 for an hour of consulting over the phone. And what I did with my healthpreneur list a little while ago was I emailed them and I said, listen, over the next 2 days, I'm blocking off the entire days and I'm doing a number of 10-minute speed consults. All you have to do is go to this page. It's literally first come, first serve. Book your time, 10 minutes. Tell me what your number one challenge is. And they all did this through Calendly. And this one, they already knew me, so I didn't have to send them to the power positioning page. So we just sent them right to the calendar. Okay? They chose their time, 12 to 12:10. They answered the question in Calendly, what is the number one challenge or obstacle you're dealing with in your business right now? So I would get that information ahead of time. And then I basically asked them, what is your Skype? Be sure to add me on Skype because we're going to do this via video. So this was amazing. I think we had about 60 some odd sessions booked in 2 days. It was like rapid fire, boom, 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 boom. And here's the thing, it's it's one thing for people to say how cool you are, how great you are, how much you've helped them, but it's another thing to actually help people by actually helping them live, right? So these 10-minute speed consults, I knew that, okay, listen, I'm not going to be spending an hour with these people, but if I can give them one nugget, something that's going to really help their business in 10 minutes, just imagine the internal dialogue that's happening there. Like, wow, I got all this in 10 minutes. Just imagine what could happen if I worked with Yuri in person or, on a more ongoing basis. So we had about 60 some odd of these 10-minute speed consults, and you can do this in your business very easily. The whole idea is you get on there and you get right to it. Okay, cool. This is a little bit different. You're not gonna, shoot the breeze and get to know each other as much. You just say, listen, I want to give you as much value as I possibly can in the next 10 minutes. So let's kind of cut right to the chase. You said your number one challenge is X. So let's have a look at how we can overcome that. And then in 10 minutes, you just give them as much great stuff, like not overwhelming, but you want to give them more clarity and direction to solving that number one problem. And the cool thing is that after these speed consults, people were blown away by how much value they got, clarity and direction, in just 10 minutes. Again, from those speed consults, a number of people ended up becoming very, very highly qualified prospects for our mastermind, for our live events. And again, it's not something I'm going to do every single day, but I would challenge you to say that, listen, if this was the only thing you did in your business and you were selling consulting and coaching and higher end packages, that could be one of the best uses of your time. So these 10-minute speed consults are a tremendous idea. Give it a shot in your business. Maybe do it once a quarter if you want, so that people actually don't abuse the system and they actually understand the value in this. So that's a really cool way of building some more trust and really helping people by actually helping them. So that's strongly recommend you try that out. Now, how do we track all these relationships? How do we keep track of everything that's going on? Well, I've tried different platforms like Nudge, like Contactually. These are different CRM type of platforms where you can, manage these relationships. But to be very honest with you, they're cool. I actually haven't found them to be that valuable for me. What I found to work the best, and I'll show you a screenshot of this in the article, is literally just tracking everyone in a Google Sheet. So here's the name, here's the email, here's their Skype handle, here's the date of the reach outs, here's the date of our contact or a call, and here are the notes from the call. And what I would do based on that is I would just basically say, okay, if this is a lukewarm prospect or a hot prospect or someone I never want to speak to again, I would basically just color coordinate those. So I know that if this is someone I really want to go a little bit deeper with down the road, they'll have a specific color. If there's someone I never want to speak to again based on the conversation was just really not there. Have you ever had those conversations where you're like, whew, look at the time. I really think we should end this now. Those types of conversations, don't even pursue those. So I'll show you a screenshot of how I manage all that stuff in our Google Sheets for these types of relationships. And it's pretty straightforward, and that's really as simple as it is. So if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a share. Again, if you want the exact emails and messages that I've mentioned in this video, check out the link, check out the article that goes with this, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more awesome stuff coming your way. And for more awesome stuff, be sure to join us over at healthpreneurgroup.com if you're a health or fitness entrepreneur who is serious about growing your business to the next level. I'm here to help you. Gabriel Kame, signing off. Talk to you soon.